Hey everybody, and a warm welcome to a new story. Today's story is called The Day of the Trial, from the Entitled Parents subreddit. I hope you like it and will enjoy the time. If you like my content and this kind of videos, please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. As always, this story is told from the original writer's point of view. The link is down below in the description. Enjoy it. So, a little bit of a backstory. I have a mild case of autism where I don't pay enough attention and get easily distracted. Basically, my attention span is pretty low to where sometimes I daydream too often. Another thing to add, my parents are divorced, so it would work out for them. You see, my dad is the entitled jackass of this story and my mom is a much more civilized and sane person. My dad is the kind of dad that you wouldn't want to ask for help on homework or anything, as he would get upset if you do not do a problem right after trying it out 20 times and to when it is 3 in the morning. My mom, on the other hand, gave me some nice tutors that helped me with my work, and thus helped me with my work in a much calmer fashion. My dad was always very strict and unbearable. I still remember as a child, my dad would force me to read SpongeBob SquarePants kids' books, and gets real upset if I don't pronounce a word correctly when I was still a child, not wanting to look at the books after that. And they are SpongeBob SquarePants, a beloved kids' cartoon character. Don't get the wrong idea, he isn't abusive by any means at all, he was just strict beyond belief. Now, my innocent mind didn't understand what a divorce was at the time until it was explained. Growing up, I got 2 Christmas and 2 birthdays. I saw this as an absolute win. Unfortunately, as I grew up, I began to be afraid of my own dad more. I would complain being at his house, I would flinch and ask what do I do when he calls me, and because of him, I became a bully to my mom, being angry all the time and holding grudges against her and my sisters when I was 8. Like a school bully bringing the rage from their home to the school. I regret those days and would wanna smack the anime edgelord, 2005 grudge holding. Screw you mom, you'll never understand out of the past version of me if I traveled back in time. One more thing to add, when an autistic child, or any child with a mental disability, at the age of 18 has to decide to go to which parent's house to get some help in the real world, they can decide if I am capable of handling what reality has thrown at me, and due to my autism being mild, I was an okay kid growing up. A few tantrums here and there, but it all worked out in the end. Besides, every other child has been through it, we grow, moving on. Now, a few months before the trial, there was a lady that would come to both houses and analyze how life is like. She analyzed my mom as well as her living standards, and she did well. She also went to my dad's place with me there. I explained what goes on at that house. Even said something real risky. So how would you say your father is like? The lady asks. Well, it's quite stressful, and honestly, me and my sisters are afraid of doing anything. It's like trying to stop the countdown of a nuclear bomb. I was honestly surprised my dad didn't step in at all or even scolded me once she left. After her, there was another person that came. A guy whose job was to interview me and know what I want. Which parent to go to. I was hesitant of choosing sides, so I went for both parents. The problem was later when I found out that my dad was listening in on my conversation with the man. Kinda raises some red flags, wouldn't you say? At first, I didn't want to decide between the two because of my love for the both of them. I thought of going to both houses for advice, that is, until I realized my dad wouldn't listen to my mom if it meant saving his life. He did everything he can to get me to be with him, most notably forcing me to bring friends over when I just want to have a me day. Don't get me wrong, my friends are great, it's just constantly forcing me to them isn't gonna help. And here is where the real story begins. If you read this far, I congratulate you for enduring unnecessary moments. Because of my college schedule, my trial was a week before my birthday to make things easier. I was at my dad's week at the time, so he drove me to the courthouse. We were then crossing the streets and this is what happened. So Grovile 489, what do you want for your birthday? Dad asks. I knew he was trying to buy me, that damn snake, but I played along saying, I sent you a list. I send my dad a list of things I want should Christmas and my birthday come up that mostly involve games. Call me spoiled, I'm well aware of that. So we enter and I was pretty nervous, so I sat at a bench next to the door. My mom, unlike my dad, didn't pressure me to her house, she only tells me, Grovile 489, it's going to be okay, just pick whatever house you want. She never pressured me to do things her way and I respect her for that. Anyway, it was time for the trial and when we went to our seats, the seating arrangement was, from left to right, Mom, me, Dad. Now I want you to remember that order. So a couple of cases go by. I didn't really paid attention to them. Some was somewhat similar to my case but with some grandma with Alzheimer's, I dunno, it really isn't my business. It was our turn and we approached the judge with my lawyer that's been hired by the state. Now when my mom heard about me wanting to be with both of them to get through in life, she was very hesitant, not wanting to do this. But my blind didn't realize this until I said, Mr. Lawyer, I have changed my mind and wanted to be with my mom. And if you think you can get me to speak to the judge privately, I tell him, and I didn't know how my mom was feeling, FYI. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Your Honor, I don't represent Mrs. G, but I don't think she wants to share custody and my client has told me he wants to be with her instead of both of them. And my client would also like to request that he speaks to you in private. Mr. Lawyer tells the judge. I can tell my dad was shocked. I didn't confirm it because I was too worried of what will happen. I will speak to Grovile 489 and find a solution. We will take a 5-minute break and during the break, I will reach my verdict. The judge says. We return to our seats and this was the new order, Mom, me, Dad. I was absolutely terrified that I couldn't even look at him. If you looked closer you could see me slightly shaking in fear. I felt a hand on my shoulder and heard, Grovile, do you want me to drop out? Because I can drop out if you want me to. Just tell me what you want, from Dad. It's like him to keep on pushing something when things don't go his way. Mom realized this and defended me saying, Mr. G, don't bother him, you're scaring him. To which he responded with, I'm not bothering him, I just want to know what he wants. I went to the restroom and then washed my hands. I leaned to the sink and asked myself, Grovile 489, what the hell are you doing? I didn't think I would make it that far in all honesty. I called my older sister and told her how the trial was going. She was comforting me when all of a sudden, the bathroom door swung open by Dad. Grovile 489, they're ready for you. I had to hung up right away while I felt my soul rip straight from the back of my head. Who were you calling? Dad asks. Just a friend. I respond quickly. Grovile 489, don't lie to me. Dad responds in a guilt-tripping tone. No, I'm serious, it was just a friend. I said after he said that. I told the judge what goes on, after he handed me 2 Snicker bars, and he reaches his verdict. The new order is as follows: me, mom, space, dad. The court was over and we went to leave. We also had to go and get something from my community college, and my dad was going on about how we were gonna go there. We're gonna get the thing. Mom knew that I didn't want to be with him after that and said that she will take me. He got real upset and left through the front door. He noticed me and Mom leaving to the basement. "Hey, the exit is right here," he says to her, but she didn't respond. Admittedly, I too didn't understand why we are going down there until she explained that